The prise du débat, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Trade, Export, Promotion, Small Business and Economic Development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Just today on January 31st here in Ottawa, I just want to reference something at the start of my comments. I agree fundamentally on the importance of protest and free expression in any democracy, but I also agree that we must all denounce hatred and vilification. Things like wavings of swastikas and Confederate flags are jarring at all times, particularly on the 5th anniversary of the Quebec mosque shooting and days after International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Equally jarring is seeing people dance on the tomb of the unknown soldier. The National War Memorial is dedicated to those veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice to give us the freedom to do things like protest. Those veterans deserve our respect because they died fighting authoritarianism. This brings me to authoritarianism right now, Mr. Speaker, and what we are witnessing in Eastern Europe and that of Vladimir Putin. Let's make no mistake, the aggressor in this context is Russia. It is Russia who invaded and annexed Crimea illegally. It is Russia who invaded Donbass 8 years ago, and it is Russia who now is the aggressor, amassing troops, 100,000 troops, on Ukraine's eastern and northern borders. Our support of Ukraine is steadfast. That is not a partisan issue, thankfully, in this chamber. It is based on our long and steadfast history. In recent years, it has meant things like Operation Unifier, things like Operation Reassurance. It has meant sanctions under Magnitsky legislation. It has meant things like the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. In the last several weeks, literally in the last 14 days, Mr. Speaker, that bond has ramped up. And what have we done? What actions, concrete actions, have been taken? Because this has been put into some debate on the part of the official opposition. We have sent HMCS Montreal to the Mediterranean as part of Operation Reassurance. That left Halifax 2 weeks ago. We've had the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Kiev. The Minister of Defense is in Kiev as I speak, Mr. Speaker. We have sent $50 million in humanitarian assistance, something that the NDP has injected into this debate, rightfully, about assisting on the ground. That is being done with Canadian federal dollars. We've provided sovereign loans to the tune of $120 million, something emphasized by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We've not just renewed Operation Unifier, we've expanded Operation Unifier. We're providing military equipment. We're also addressing something that is brand new, which didn't exist at the time that the official opposition was in government, things like cyber threats and addressing cyber threats and using Canadian know-how to team up with Ukrainian know-how to better assist in that particular aspect of the fight. We've launched a renegotiation of the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. I was happy to participate in that launch with the Minister of International Trade. Why does this matter, Mr. Speaker? It matters because, as you've heard from my colleague from Etobicoke Centre, the security of Ukraine is the security of Europe, the security of the world, and ergo, Canada's security. And it matters to Canadians. We've heard the member opposite from Calgary talking about his own Polish background. We know that I represent, for example, Polish Canadians and Ukrainian Canadians. For any person in this country who is either from Eastern Europe or has ancestry in Eastern Europe, they know what Russian aggression looked like under the Soviet Union, and they're seeing it again now. And it is causing them considerable anxiety to which we must respond as a nation state. And what is at stake, Mr. Speaker? It is the sovereign ability of any nation to determine on its own about its security arrangements and make independent decisions about how to protect its citizens. And to those who say Canada is a small player and the actions it takes will be inconsequential, I say you are dead wrong. You are dead wrong because Canada can lead and has led. How have we led? When we deliver $120 million in sovereign loans, the EU then follows with additional money in sovereign loans because they see Canada leading by example. You've heard Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary General of NATO, reference that leadership of Canada. That is what we need more of, Mr. Speaker. That is why I called, together with the member of Etobicoke Centre and 6 of my colleagues, for this debate this evening. And what I pledge in this chamber right now on behalf of my constituents and on behalf of the Canadian people is that we need to continue to do more. And what more can be done, Mr. Speaker? 2 things more can be done. We can address economic sanctions as a package, and we can address economic sanctions now. We need to demonstrate to a person like Putin that the cost of potentially going to war is far more expensive than the cost of peace. And lastly, we must address Ukraine's defense where it is needed and where we can provide assistance to defending Ukraine, we must do so, including things such as providing electronic jamming equipment, which I understand the Ukrainian Minister of Defense has recently put in a request for. Those are the types of things that I will advocate for in this chamber, I will advocate for with my government, and I will advocate for on behalf of Ukrainian Canadians whom I represent. Дуже дякую, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
A commentaire, questions and comments.